Before we begin, I want you to hold this thought close. Not every absence is a rejection. Sometimes, it's a sacrifice that has been deeply misunderstood. The church was bathed in sunlight, filled with the scent of flowers and the quiet hum of expectation. At the altar stood Elena, the bride. Her grip on her bouquet was so tight, her knuckles were white. She kept a smile fixed on her face, the kind of brave smile you wear when you read desperately trying to hold yourself together. Her groom, Daniel, was late. At first, it seemed like a minor hiccup. Weddings often run a little behind schedule, right? But as the minutes stretched into a tense silence, the atmosphere began to shift. Her father cleared his throat. Guests shuffled in their seats, their whispers growing louder. Phones started to appear, glances exchanged. Elena's heart, which should have been fluttering with joy, began to pound with a cold, rising fear. She thought about how tired Daniel had been lately. Unnaturally tired. He'd been taking on extra shifts, working late into the night, often skipping meals. Whenever she'd asked him about it, his answer was always the same. I just want us to start strong. She never, not for a single moment, imagined this was what he meant. 30 minutes turned into an hour. The pastor quietly stepped aside, his expression sympathetic. Then, a single whisper cut through the air, sharp and cruel. Maybe he changed his mind. That one sentence was all it took. It shattered her composure. Tears began to fall, not with dramatic sobs, but silently, like a quiet surrender. What Elena didn't know, what no one in that beautiful, silent church knew, was that miles away, across the city, Daniel had collapsed at his workplace. Sheer exhaustion, severe dehydration. His heart, pushed far beyond its limits by a love that had forgotten how to rest, had simply given out. When he finally woke up hours later in a sterile hospital room, disoriented and weak, his first frantic words were, "My wedding, did I miss my wedding?" By the time he was stable enough to leave and race to the church, it was empty. The flowers were being cleared away. The guests were long gone. And the woman he loved more than anything was sitting alone in the hollow silence, her beautiful white dress a symbol of her pain, believing the worst possible story her broken heart could invent. There's a powerful piece of wisdom here, inspired by the work of Brené Brown. When we are faced with someone's unexplained silence, our minds rush to fill that void with our deepest fears. We invent stories of rejection, of abandonment, of not being enough. For days, Elena didn't answer his calls. She couldn't. The public humiliation, the feeling of being abandoned at the altar, of being so completely unchosen, it was suffocating. She walled herself off, letting the pain harden into anger. Then, a message arrived. Not from Daniel, but from the hospital. A formal notification about his admission. And in that instant, the story she had been telling herself crumbled, replaced by a sudden, terrifying truth. She rushed to his side. When he saw her, Daniel struggled to sit up, his eyes wide with panic and shame. Tears streamed down his face as he apologized over and over. "I wasn't running away," he choked out, his voice raw. "I promise. I was just trying to build a better life for us." And that's when she finally broke down. Not because he was late, not because he had missed their wedding, but because they had never, ever talked about how exhausted he was. They had never shared the true weight of the burdens they were carrying for each other. That night, they just held hands in the quiet of the hospital room, a profound silence settling between them. They were learning a lesson that love rarely teaches you in the beginning. Love isn't just about showing up for the good moments. It's about letting your partner see you when you're struggling, when you're faltering, when you're not strong. Before they left the hospital, hand in hand, Elena whispered a quiet prayer into the space between them. A human plea. "Teach us how to rest," she whispered. "Teach us how to speak our truth. Teach us not to sacrifice ourselves in silence, thinking it's the only way to love." And this is where the story leaves us, with a thought for you to carry forward. To all of you who love so deeply that you feel you have to carry the world on your shoulders, please don't carry it alone. Your strength is not measured by your silence. Let yourself be seen. And to those of you who are waiting, feeling left behind or forgotten, ask before you assume the worst. Reach out before you retreat into your pain. Because sometimes, the love you think has abandoned you is actually just fighting a silent, desperate battle to find its way back to you. Thank you for listening. If this story resonated with you, please consider sharing it. You never know who might need to hear it today. Take care, and we'll see you in the next video.